lot of people that I know personally, like, they just think everything's all good. Everything's not all good. Take a look inside your house. Is everything all good? If you got audited in all the areas of your life, would you pass or would you fail? My name is Brian. I'm an executive coach that helps successful professionals get wealthy outside of the office in their mind, their body, and their relationships. I'm an expert at this because I did it myself. I sat inside of corporate America, likely in a seat that you are in right now, for 20 years. If I can do it, so can you. Welcome back to the show. We're going to do a little post-election wrap-up this week. And don't worry, I'm not really going to talk a whole lot of politics. It's been an interesting couple of days at the time of this recording to sort of watch people's reactions. And, you know, everyone's got an opinion, and that's fine. You're supposed to have an opinion. You have an opinion with your vote. It's been interesting to see and hear people, you know, after the fact. It's very clear to me that most of the country, just like in I can't believe I'm going to do this right now, but talk about nutrition when it comes to politics. But I truly believe that nutrition, proper nutrition fundamentals and principles, which is a complete shit show, almost as bad as politics out there in the world, especially in places like social media. The tail gets so much attention on both sides of the aisle on various different opinions. And really what ultimately you should be doing is be kind of down the middle. And if you get a lot of reasonable people in a room and ask them about blocking and tackling and fundamentals of health and wellness and longevity and living a high performance lifestyle, they would agree on just about all of it. But we dig our heels in on some of the fringe things. And that's kind of like politics, isn't it? I know a lot of people who are very, very happy about Trump coming back in office. And I know people who are really, really upset about it. But I know a lot of them personally, when you actually are able to have a conversation, which is very much a lost art in our society, in this world, they agree on like most of the stuff. And what they disagree on actually comes from a place of personal experience, maybe belief systems, individual context, and some complexity that I don't really know or see until I actually have a conversation with you, and can't be contextualized or verbalized in a social media post or a soundbite or a Twitter post, you know, or a video where I have to get you to pay attention for the first 5 seconds or I lose you. And that's kind of the society that we live in. And it's really unfortunate because I think most people would find themselves agreeing on a lot of things. I don't think that people who voted Democratic are in favor of, you know, endless people coming over the border in our cities, our major metropolitan cities, being effectively, you know, homeless and drug trafficking, hubs like they have been over the last several years. I don't think they're in favor of like what happened with a lot of our police force over the last several years. I don't think they're into big pharma. I don't think they're looking structurally and strategically to deconstruct and ruin America from within, which is like the narrative from the Republican side, right? And I don't think people who voted for Donald Trump, I'll speak for myself because I did, I don't think we're looking to oppress women. I don't think I'm a racist. I don't think I'm a misogynist. I don't think I'm a white supremacist. I know I'm not any of those things. So thank God for your freedoms, by the way. Thank God for your freedom of speech, because we didn't always have that here relatively recently. Thank God for your freedom of speech to call people that who you don't know, which has been happening a lot. And I understand it comes from a place of probably people being pretty frustrated and hurt or whatever, and feeling like, you know, some things may happen that I don't really think are going to happen, but that's neither here nor there, but thank God for your freedom of speech to call me all of those things or anybody else that you have been typing, on your social media feeds. So what I want to address in this is not necessarily a message to Democratic supporters who are maybe frustrated or hurt right now, because I'm pretty sure most of the people that pay attention to me would be Republican or conservative or kind of like me, very down the middle, and looked at the two options and said, for me, it's kind of not even close. I wish there was a better choice, but it's kind of not even close. And that's how I felt. But I think, again, in observing a lot of things that are going on from one side, I'm also observing a lot of things that are going on from the other side as well. These victory laps and this sort of grave dancing that a lot of conservative people and Republicans are doing because the victory was so decisive in every way, right? And so they now feel empowered to like usher out this reign of political oppression and freedom of lack of freedom of speech or whatever the hell they feel for the last 4 years. This systematic destruction of the country and men playing in women's sports and like all this ridiculous shit, right? So there's big time victory laps going on right now, for better or worse. I think it's for worse. I think people should just shut up and handle their business. And that's going to be my quick message to you this week. It's really to the person who feels like, they're safe. It's to the person who feels like everything's okay again. It's the person who feels like, everything has been restored in its rightful way. Maybe your business is going to pay less corporate taxes. I think that's a great thing. Maybe you're going to pay less personal taxes. I think that's a great thing, because I believe that both of those things result in more growth, more entrepreneurship. More companies will start in the next 4 years, probably than ever have been in the history of the United States. I believe that. I believe that, we'll probably get a little healthier as a country. I don't think we're just going to snap our fingers and do away with a lot of the stuff that I think a lot of people just kind of sit back and feel like, oh, they're just going to get healthy. You're just going to get healthy eating like, cleaner ingredient Doritos? Or like, do you think that you're not going to get fat overeating beef tallow French fries versus canola oil French fries? I think people are a little bit naive and ignorant to like the problem that we actually have. Is the food system corrupt? And is it hard for a lot of people to be healthy in this country? I believe that. Do I believe most of the people listening to this message right now have trouble with access to high quality food and knowledge to actually get healthy and be in elite shape and have your kids be healthier? Are you fucking nuts? Every single person that's listening to this right now has access to some of the best things that you possibly can in our society. And so my message really is to those people. It's to a lot of people that I know personally. Your business is probably in really good shape right now. You are in a really good position, most likely to grow exponentially over the next 4 years. That's a good thing. I'm very happy about that. I'm happy as a business owner myself about that. But what are you going to do as an individual? And I titled, the episode, Make You Great Again. Because if you sit around, two things are going to happen. There's 67 million people, or however many people voted Democratic for the president, that, many of them are going to sit around, do nothing because they feel like their life is doomed. By definition, their life will be doomed because they do nothing. But I think the dangerous part is that there are going to be millions of people that just assume that things are going to get better for them. And they're actually going to get better for them in certain circumstances, probably in their financial life. But is your financial life really out of whack right now? Yeah, you probably pay more taxes than you're supposed to. But has that affected you paying less taxes? How's that going to affect your marriage? You paying less taxes, how is that going to affect your body? Well, that's the beauty of some of these aspects of our lives outside of the office. You could be dirt fucking poor and you can have the greatest marriage in the world. I mean, yes, would having access to wealth create more experiences and take pressure off of you to be a provider? Of course it does. Of course it does. But like, are you going to get fit because RFK is going to fix the FDA? What are you, fucking crazy? I mean, I'm rooting for that. 100%. I'm rooting for that. But like, you're going to eat olive oil Doritos instead of sunflower oil ones on the couch, drinking beer, watching football, not moving, not going to the gym, saying that you're going to get to it tomorrow or next week. I think this is a dangerous time for a lot of people that I know, and a lot of people that I know who are like those people that I know. Because I think you can get lulled into sleep about feeling safe and secure again, and everything's going to be okay because we actually have somebody competent in office now. Maybe you don't feel that way about the person coming into office. I don't know. We could have a conversation about it. I think I'm pretty capable. I think a pretty interesting, I heard this stat, it's like how many people, and there was no answer to it. It was more just a theoretical question. It wasn't a stat. Could you have a 10-minute conversation with somebody who has completely different views than you? And I was like, yeah, of course I could. And then I'm like, I don't know. Every time I turn on MSNBC, I turn it off after 4 minutes, maybe less. Because I actually turn it on in attempt to like understand. I'm trying to like understand the other side. I said that I asked my wife the other night, I was like, can you explain to me like the 5 or 6 steps that I feel like, you know, women are taking that are really truly afraid about certain rights being taken away? Because like I don't see it. I don't see it for the vast majority of women. And so we talked about it, and I was like, I want you to tell me, you know, what I'm not seeing. And so like, I'm really trying to be open to points of view that I'm not experienced in. I don't have any personal experience in. I don't have expertise in. And I think it's a really dangerous time for a lot of people that I know that are just going to assume that everything's going to be okay because you got your boy back. Nobody's coming to save you. You know, a lot of Republicans and a lot of conservative people like to say that over the last 4 years. You would hear that a lot. Probably heard that on social media a bunch. That would be a very catchy thing to say. No one's coming to save you. You got to save yourself. I wonder how many of those people feel like they've been saved. And I think the danger is that you actually feel like you've been saved now and everything's going to be okay. And other than you paying a little bit less money to the IRS, the fuck's changed in your life. Your business might grow a little bit more, and that's great. Invest that back into the company, grow more, put money away, get wealthier. I'm pro all of those things. Give it to charities, donate it to your church, all those things. What are you doing? What are you doing to improve your life? What are you doing to be the chief commander, commander-in-chief, the chief executive officer of your family? Our cities are hopefully going to get cleaned up a little bit. Who knows? You may have avoided going to downtown New York City or Midtown or wherever, or San Francisco over the last several years, or Chicago. And please, I'm not suggesting that I'm capable of handling myself against all danger, but I'm pretty sure that I feel a little bit better about walking around a major metropolitan city right now than you do. I'm pretty sure that someone's going to choose to fuck with someone else before they fuck with me. Now, I'm not being ignorant to the fact that I could get my shit handled by a whole lot of people, a whole lot. And with a knife or a gun or a weapon, it probably doesn't matter anyway. But I'm just saying, you're probably choosing somebody else before you pick me, or somebody that looks like me, or someone who is fit and appears to be a weapon, who appears to be dangerous. I think that's what the other side of like this whole toxic masculinity thing has just completely screwed up. You need people that look like that because they are actually people who protect. Can you protect your family right now? If a group of people came after you and your family coming out of a restaurant, could you hold them off long enough for help to come? I don't know. I guess it depends on how many people, but I'm pretty sure it'd have to be a few people for me. And again, pretty sure they're picking somebody else. And so this is a very dangerous time for a lot of people like my audience, in my opinion, because the euphoria is there. We're all hooting and hollering. You are, maybe I'm not, whatever. I don't really care. I really don't. I'm happy with the result, but, I'm glad that some really, in my opinion, potentially bad outcomes on paper should be taken off the table. It already looks like things are happening, wars and relationships with, foreign countries, things like that. Hope that we don't still spend like we're going broke because we're going broke. And maybe the efficiency that's created inside of our government, money can be reallocated. We stop spending. We're sending $100 billion to foreign countries for wars that we don't need to be involved in. We can reinvest that back into people. You see, we have people doing really, really well, but we have people who are not. And that gap is what is creating a massive amount of tension. And so, although, yeah, rich people can complain, like, how much more are you going to tax us? We pay most of the taxes already. That's factually correct. But it's also factually correct that the difference between the really, really wealthy people and the really not wealthy people are as big as it's ever gotten. And that creates a lot of tension and animosity. And so maybe we can get money back to those people via efficiencies and savings and growth and create more opportunities. But like, this is a very dangerous time for you as an individual, because it's going to be really easy for you to just celebrate and get fat and just get complacent. Because maybe your business has been saved. Maybe your business is going to grow. Maybe your personal taxes are going to go down. But what are you doing about yourself? What are you doing about being in the best shape of your life? What are you doing about improving your marriage? I hope maybe this woke somebody up. I don't know. I wanted to weave the election into some aspect of what I wanted to talk about today because, Christ, it's so topical. You shouldn't be tuning into me for political content, nor do I want to really provide it. I think people should have their opinions. They should voice it if they want to. That's your right. It's your First Amendment right. But that's not why people are here. I just have seen this over the last couple of days, and I was like, it's not sitting well for me. I can see it with a lot of people that I know personally. Like, they just think everything's all good. Everything's not all good. Take a look inside your house. Is everything all good? If you got audited in all the areas of your life, would you pass or would you fail? Appreciate you guys. I'll see you back here next week for more regular content. Take care.